So who are you going to vote for? Are you going to vote for Trump? Are you going to vote for Bernie Sanders? So who are you going to vote for? You voting for Trump, Bernie Sanders, Bibi Netanyahu? So who are you going to vote for? Trump, Bernie Sanders, Bibi Netanyahu, Benny Gantz? Well, let's talk about some politics. Hey everybody, my name is Claude Massey. I'm a life coach and career consultant in Tel Aviv, Israel, and I want to make a video today to briefly explain some of the differences between politics in Israel versus politics in the US. If you haven't done it yet, if you haven't done it yet, please go down below and hit the subscribe button right now. I make plenty of videos about moving to Israel, living in Israel, being a Los Angeles native. So if you're interested in understanding what Israel is like and you're considering to move to Israel, this is probably a great channel for you to click on and, well, to subscribe to. If you haven't done it yet, please go down below and hit the subscribe button. This is a great channel with plenty of videos of what it's like to move from America to Israel. And I have plenty of experience with that. I've been living in Israel for the last 10 years. But anyways, let's get into the topic of today. So there is a massive similarity between both of the governments, and the Israel elections in 2020 and what the differences are. The Israel elections in 2020 and what the differences are between the Israel elections in 20 the Israel election the Israel elections in 2020 the Israel elections in 2020 and what the differences are between politics in the US versus Israel. So, so as you guys know, how politics work in the US is there's pretty much three levels. There's the level of judges, and up above that level is the Senate and Congress. And up above that level, who basically approves the laws that Senate and Congress put into action, or sort of they want those laws to go through, they have to push them. So the way that politics work in the US as well as Israel is there are three levels. The first level is judges, and judges are basically the people who you see in the courts. Those are the first level, and they exist in both countries for certain. The differences are going to be in the second level and the third level. So let's talk first about the so let's talk first about what it's like in the US. In the United States, the second level consists of the Congress and the Senate. Now, these two bodies create laws and have to push them up to the third level. And the third level is the president. The president approves laws that are passed and pushed over to him from Senate committees and Congress, of course. However, However, in Israel, the system works quite a bit differently. They have something similar to what they use in they have something similar to what they're using. They have something similar to what they're using in the United Kingdom, and that would be a parliament. A Knesset is what it's called here. So in Israel, they call the parliament the Knesset. Yes, in Israel, there is a president. Every single Yes, in Israel, there is a president of the country, but as you're going to see in the screenshots that I'm going to be showing you throughout this video, the president himself is more of just a token or figurehead. He doesn't really have to do very much with the way the country runs on a day in, day out basis. That more has to do with the Knesset, and let's talk about that for a second. So the head of the Knesset today, where we stand, the head of the parliament or Knesset, we're going to call it Knesset, but it's more like a parliament, same exact thing. The head of this organization, his name is Bibi Netanyahu, Benjamin Netanyahu. And we're going to talk a little bit more about him in a few moments, but I want to cover the topic of, so what is the parliament or the Knesset? It is an organization. The parliament or the Knesset, same exact thing, consists of just over 100 different members. I want to say it's about 120 different members. Now, out of these 120 different members, so what is the parliament or the Knesset, in this case in Israel? That is the first level. That is the primary level, similar to the people who pass laws in the US, being the president passes the biggest laws. In Israel, the parliament or the Knesset passes the big laws, passes laws and puts them into action. Now here's a twist on it. The government, the government of Israel is elected by, as you guys can see here, I'm breaking it down. The government is elected by the Knesset, meaning the members, these 120 different members, put together different ministries of different organizations, people who are in charge of different elements of Israeli society. Now, they are responsible for putting together the government, but there is primarily one person who is delegated by the president. One of the few things that the president does is he delegates somebody from this group, the Knesset. It may or may not involve the prime minister, to be responsible for bringing in a government. So whenever there's a new prime minister, there is a new quote unquote government. So it sounds pretty crazy. The government changes all the time, but this is the key thing happening right now today where and this but this is the key thing about what's happening right now and why there's going to be elections in Israel in 2020. The reason why is because the person who has been delegated to put together the government always has traditionally and pretty much is required to work with the prime minister in developing a government, in developing a gov in developing a governing body over Israel. So to put together the government, the person who's responsible for the person who's responsible, in this case his name is Benny Gantz, needs to work with the prime minister, Bibi Netanyahu, Benjamin Netanyahu. But here's the issue. These two guys see, but here's the issue. These two guys see things extremely different. So when they're trying to put together a governing body consisting of various members of the parliament itself, this is where the issue comes in because they cannot seem to agree on the different people they want within the different roles of the government. So the two people who are responsible for putting together the government and pushing this country forward can't get along. That being said, the responsible that being said, these two guys are responsible for putting together the government, and they get a certain amount of time to do it. If they do not put together the government within that time frame, literally, we have to have elections again to vote in a new prime minister, pretty much to get it. But if they don't agree and put together a parliament, but if they don't agree and they can agree and they will not be able to successfully put together a government within the time frame, within the time frame, then we, the people, the civilians of Israel, have the choice or pretty much are required to vote again. Meaning, who do we vote for? We vote for a new prime minister, meaning this person who's running the show can't seem to cooperate with the person who's responsible or has been delegated the responsibility of putting together the government. They have to work together. If they can't work together, well, then we have to re-vote for a new possible prime minister. And that's where we're at today. So there's two so there so so there are two primary candidates for this new parliament or the new position in parliament. So there are two primary positions to be at the head of parliament, or as we're calling it in this conversation, and as we call it in Israel, the Knesset. These two individuals are Benjamin Netanyahu and Benny Gantz. I want to say his name's Benny. His last name's definitely Gantz. So let me show you very quickly how the voting works. Because the way that we vote in Israel is we do not vote for an individual, we actually vote for a party. As you can see, there are plenty of different parties that exist within Israel. The parliament exists of the Knesset exists of various parties, many parties, all with all with different political perspectives on what should be happening in Israel. These different parties, these different parties form coalitions, and these coalitions become part of the government. So the, so basically, it's not down to two individuals. It has to do with all of the members of the Knesset, over 100 people from probably about 20 different parties who have to form various coalitions and support one of the primary candidates and or and these these candidates are these candidates are nominated from within the parliament, from within the Knesset. These organizations, these political parties are responsible for the nominations of these candidates for prime minister. So that being said, after you so so all of that being said, you should have a slightly clearer concept of the difference between politics in the US versus Israel. But pretty but after that, the campaigning is very, very similar. I want to show you a couple of screenshots of some of the SMS messages I get that I did not ask for from the various members of the campaign. So as you can see, I'm getting an SMS from Benny Gatz. You can also see I get another SMS. You can also see I'm getting another SMS from Ben. You can also see I'm getting another SMS from Kahol Lavan. This is the Blue and White Party. So this is one of those political parties I mentioned. In addition, you'll see I'm getting an SMS from Benny Netanyahu. So listen, so aside from getting multiple text SMS messages per day from these different politicians who are campaigning so that we vote for them, Yes, just like in the US, you're going to see television commercials, meaning at meaning a lot of times during the news hour when the public news is playing, those commercial breaks, yes, those are political commercials as well. You see politicians either slandering each other and or saying I'm the best, vote for me. And on top of that, in Israel, you can drive around and you will see billboards with Benjamin Netanyahu or Benny Gantz or any of the different, or perhaps any of the political parties, the blue and white I spoke about, the Kahol Lavan, and all of the other different political parties. You see campaign billboards all over the country during voting season. And that's what we're seeing today. That is exactly what we're experiencing right now in Israel. So, in conclusion, now you have a better idea of how politics work a little bit. You understand the similarities. The campaigning is the same stuff, slandering another guy or bragging about themselves, promising a, or bragging about themselves, making probably false promises to the public. But, but, let's see what happens next. Don't forget to subscribe. But we'll see what happens next. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe down below for more videos, not about politics, but some of the differences between Israel and America. And that's kind of what I like to focus on, as well as being able to help new immigrants to Israel. That's what I do. Thanks for what Thanks again for watching the video, and you guys take care.